What is going on, everybody? Another college football Saturday, and really early on in today, there wasn't that much going for me. It was a lot of blowouts, not too much that was really keeping me engaged until 7 o'clock. You have the Clemson Texas A&M game. Jimbo Fisher going to Texas A&M, trying to rebuild this culture over there, getting paid a lot of money, and he proved himself today. He proved himself that he's at least building something special as they go out there and battle with Clemson to literally the last play of the football game. It was strong. It was a strong performance by both teams. I mean, Clemson had stretches of greatness, and it looked like they were going to run away with it. But then you had some breakdowns, and Texas A&M took control of those, and they scored, and they came down to the wire as A&M, with very limited time left in this ball game, down 8. It was 28-20 at this point. It looks like they go in and try and score a touchdown, and the referees decide to say that it went in the back of the end zone, and it was a touchback. But in reality, the ball popped loose and went left of the pylon, and it was out of bounds. And it should have been down at the 1 for A&M, and it looked like Clemson caught a break. But Clemson then ends up turning the football over. They have to punt it. They didn't turn it over. They punted it. And with under a minute left, you have Texas A&M charging downfield, getting in the end zone again. So now it's 28-26, and it comes down to a 2-point conversion, which there was a hold on the play by A&M. And it was picked off, but obviously Clemson declines that. You have Bryant going out there, and he's going up with a legitimate freshman star for Clemson. He goes by the name of Trevor Lawrence, and he had one drive in this football game where he literally tossed it up to a receiver who made a beautiful, beautiful spin move and went down and scored on his first play, and that was T. Higgins. And T. Higgins was absolutely phenomenal in today's football game. But he ends up sticking with Bryant late in the game because, you know what, he's got more experience. He knows. Now, Trevor Lawrence is going to be a stud, a legitimate star at the college football level. But when it came down to a game like this, when you're playing a legit team and you're playing a head coach on the other side who's been successful at this level, you go with the more veteran quarterback. Even Dabo Swinney was talking about it after the game. I stuck with him because he's a little bit more experienced. He has a different type of leadership right now that we needed down the crunch time of this football game. And I like that move. I mean, there's teams now all over the country, teams that are going with 2 quarterbacks. But this Trevor Lawrence kid, remember him because he's going to be serious. But they go with the veteran. On the Texas A&M side, Kellen Mond. He had himself a day, his best of his career. He throws for 430 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was serious. He was all over the field, making plays happen, throwing the football beautifully, great execution, leading his receivers. He really could play. I'm telling you. You have Jimbo Fisher out there, Texas A&M, building something special. This is one of those games where I've been in the locker room where you give it everything you have and you lose, but you literally were involved and it's heartbreaking, but you put everything out there in the field and you learn something from that experience. Even though you take the L, even though you lose, you're going into conference play next knowing, okay, we just took the number 2 team in the country right behind Alabama to a 2-point game and could have won it. They gave it everything they had, and that game was awesome. That game was absolutely phenomenal. Moving to the Penn State game. Early on in this football game, there was some energy in the building. Pitt fans going wild. Pitt running the football insanely. I mean, they couldn't be stopped. Penn State could not stop the run. It was actually pathetic. It really was. But Pitt wasn't engaged from the first step. You win the toss and you pick the opposite of what your coach told you to. They wanted to receive at half. Well, they say to receive now. They're going into the wind. I mean, they were a mess from the beginning. They're punting, they're kicking, dropping footballs, not getting it done. It was a mess, and it was from the get-go. If I'm their head coach and you don't listen to me from what I say to pick at the coin toss, next practice is not going to be fun. Penn State ends up taking, after the half, ends up taking this game and just running away with it. Absolutely running away with it. So at the time of this recording, there is still a little bit time left in that USC Stanford game. And even though on paper that's a ranked opponent, ranked squads, that game just doesn't have much going. There's really not much flow of the football game. USC can't get anything going. Stanford couldn't for quite some time. Bryce Love trying to run the football as much as he possibly could, but that game wasn't doing it for me. And at this time, you still have a lot of Michigan State, ASU, but that's a West Coast game, and that's not going to end until like 2 in the morning. So that's really the last big game left on the schedule today. You look at some of the earlier games, Georgia just absolutely dominating a South Carolina team. Ranked on paper, didn't really play out that way. Today for college football, besides the A&M Clemson game, nothing really eye-popping. Nothing really, wow. I didn't get that factor from too much today with college football. Sometimes it happens. It's an uncontrollable thing. It is. So, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.